Hi, 8th graders. This is Letitia here. I just want to take a quick review of what we've learned so far about DNA, genes, proteins, before we move on. So first of all, we know that the DNA is located in the nucleus of every cell in our body, in the cells of every living thing. The DNA is organized into chromosomes. In the case of humans, there are 23 pairs of chromosomes, and they're arranged in pairs because half of the DNA comes from the female, half of the DNA comes from the male, from parents. Then a gene is just a section of the chromosome. It's just a part of the DNA strand that codes to make a certain protein. Okay, and that's all a gene is. The problem is, in order to make the protein, that code in the DNA actually needs to leave the nucleus and go to the ribosome. But DNA can't leave the nucleus. So what happens instead are two processes called transcription and translation. First of all, transcription is where the DNA double helix is unzipped, and half of it, the gene, is read and transcribed into RNA. So notice that there's a strand of RNA. It was transcribed directly from half the DNA that is the coding for the gene, and now this RNA piece has a copy of the gene exactly, except for one change. Anytime there's a base of T, which stands for thymine, in RNA, that T is instead a U for uracil. So now that that gene is copied essentially into RNA, the RNA can leave the nucleus of the cell and go out to find a ribosome. Okay, the RNA is sort of like tape being pulled through that ribosome and read, and that's the translation process. Okay, it's read 3 base letters at a time, and those 3 base letters are called codons. And those codons, those 3 letters, code for a specific amino acid. And then these amino acids chain together to form the protein. So we're going to look at this amino acid wheel. And what this amino acid wheel does is it tells us the codon, those 3 letters that they read at a time, it tells us which amino acid it codes for. And here's how we read it. It's actually really simple once you get the hang of it. We're going to take 3 letters at a time. Let's take the letters AAA, just to make it simple. The first letter, we're going to start in the middle of the wheel every time. So if your first letter is A, you'll go to the center of the wheel where the A is. Now, the second letter, you're going to go to the next outer wheel, okay, the medium-sized letter. So we start with a large letter A. The second letter is also A, so we're going to go to our outside wheel, and we're going to go to the A that was touching the first letter. Okay, and then for the third letter, we're going to go the next layer out to the smallest letter, and again, it's A. So when we string these together from biggest letter A to medium A to little a, that right here gives us the name of the amino acid, which is, in this case, AAA codes for the amino acid lysine. Let's take a different example. Let's say our 3 letters in the codon were C, A, G. We're going to start in the middle of the amino acid wheel for our first letter, C. We're going to go to the next layer. With our next letter is A, so it's the A that's touching the C, the littler A that's touching the C, and then finally the G. So C, A, and then the littlest letter G, and that codes for glutamine. Okay, let's try one more example. All right, let's say our amino acid is UAG. We're going to start in the center with the U. Okay, we're going to go to the next ring out, and we're going to go to the A, and then the next ring out, we're going to go to the G. So UAG, you can see, is a stop codon. So it codes to stop making the string of amino acids to make the proteins, and it signals that, okay, it's done. It can stop. All right. So what would happen if you think there was accidentally a mistake, and instead of UAG, it accidentally became UAC. So UAC would code for tyrosine instead of stop. What do you think would happen in that case? You're going to answer a couple questions based on this video. Thanks for watching. I miss you guys. I wish we were in class together, but feel free to catch me on my office hour Zooms. Thanks. Bye-bye.